And it's your boy, the Loves Messenjah, singing Red Rover, send your sweet loving over. Yeah, man.
Ray, what's up, bro?
You know, I can't call it, man.
You got disco lights in the back. You at a nightclub or something?
No. We just mixing, having a little bowl with
Can you
the
hear me?
Brody.
Oh man.
Who's that guy right there?
He's a Mohamed guy.
Nice. What's up, Ray? Long time no see, brother.
No, man. Long time no see.
Yeah, man. Last time I seen Ray, I was trying to sign him to my record label, dude.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't sign, Ray, because I don't know what that label is.
Chandelier. Man, champagne in the building.
What's cracking? What's cracking? Ray, man, I appreciate you taking time to be part of our podcast.
Yeah, brother. Appreciate you.
Well,
Yeah.
honored to have you to be on your podcast. And greetings to your fellow listeners out there.
Oh yeah, we got a bunch of people that are excited to hear about your story, your path, your future, past.
We can sum this up in like 2 minutes, guys. We can wrap this up in 2 minutes. Appreciate you guys having me on your show. And I know you guys probably have a whole list of guys that but yeah, thank you guys for taking the chance to and the time to interview this guy.
Hey, so for all you listeners out there, we have the infamous Ray Leger on our podcast show.
Yep,
Loves Messenjah.
Loves Messenjah.
Love Messenjah.
Yeah, man.
So, so Ray, man, I know a lot's been going on um, in your career and your path. Just the lights went out. Just want to know, can you tell us about yourself? Tell us about your path right now in your life.
Yeah. First off, my name is Raymond Leger. My full name is Raymond Leger. I'm a father. I'm a husband, and I'm a reggae artist and a musician and a cover connoisseur. Ew-wee.
Oh wow!
But I'm also a veteran. For those of you that don't know, but yeah, your boy is a veteran. I was in the Navy for 9 years. I was an engine mechanic in the Navy, and I also was a Navy recruiter. Chances are there was a couple of guys that were on the side of the street, probably picked them up and put them in the Navy. But that's what yeah, that was me. And yeah, I've never regretted any. I think I lived a full life.
Now, being in the Navy, did you travel to a lot of places?
Yeah, yeah, sure. I've been to Hong Kong, Singapore, Thailand, Africa. I was in the Middle East, and yeah, a real funny story. Let me tell you a funny story about when we were out there. So you have to make friends with a lot of the important guys, like the cooks. And all of our cooks were Filipinos, so we had to be friends with these guys, and they loved us anyway. So they thought that we were I don't know. Maybe they're distant cousins or something. So we had the hookup on good food, and then we had a Micronesian dude who was a chief boat captain on one of the Swick boats. It's one of those. It's a small little craft that the aircraft that or aircraft carrier that we were at, and that's where we would do all our laundry. We would drink our kava down there, and we would just have a good time. It was good to have Polynesian people and Micronesians, in the.
I remember. I remember. I went to a birthday party, and I was talking with my Fijian side because my daughter's half Fijian, and they all told me that they knew you.
Yeah,
You were you were working together with my daughter's mom's brother.
yeah,
Shout out to all the Fijians out there, baby.
exactly, man. Shout out to my all my Fijian family out there, man. Yeah, you're talking about Jesse Tamanalevu. That's my boy, man. Shout out to him, his family, and all the Fijians that you know served the military. But yeah, he was one of my closest boys, man. Going in the while I was in the service, made everything. He made everything nice and easy for me. And then along came we had some Samoan boys. We had some Tongan cats that were in the Navy, but it was cool, man. It was
Hey,
really
so
cool.
tell me more about. I know there's some people that if football or sports is not their path, education is not their path. A lot of the Polynesian people want to get into the military. What are some of the things that you felt like you could have done to prepare yourself mentally, physically, emotionally to be in the military? Is it worth it?
It's worth it. Number one, don't be scared, man. Don't be afraid because you hear a lot of horror stories about joining the military. Don't do it, man. For our people, man, it's such a blessing to be in the service. When you're in there, shoot, as a single guy, you get almost 5 grand, 5 grand a month. As a single guy, you get free room and boarding, and you get breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then you have, you're pretty much you do your job, and then you go out and you live your life, and then you come back. It's just like a job. But a lot of people think that you're slaves to the government. You're really not, But I would encourage all the young folks out there um, to do that. If they ain't got nothing going on, if football ain't working, if wrestling ain't working, if tetherball ain't working, whatever it is, join the service. Join the service. Yeah.
So why the name? Because there's other branches that are there. There's the Air Force, the Army. Why did you decide to choose the Navy?
Okay. So I I served a mission, LDS mission. I was in and I went to Hawaii, and in Hawaii they feed you, man. They feed you a lot. So when I grew up, uh, I think I was like 165, 170 in that range when I graduated from high school. When I got off my mission, I was 250. I was a bowling ball. Yeah. And so when I went into the Air Force, which was, I wanted to, that was my primary choice. I went into the Air Force, and the dude, he he pointed to the door and he said, "Go to the Navy." So I walked into the Navy's office, and there was a white, chief. You can tell that this guy has been processing, you know, heftier gentlemen like myself. But yeah, he pretty much told me the rundown, told me what to do, And yep, there you go. A week later, I found myself in Navy boot camp, crying like a little girl. But it was the best decision of my life, man. Yeah.
Love it. We salute you, man. We thank you for your service.
So would you say that's when your music career started? Was when you were in the Navy?
No, I would music has always been a part of my life, you know. From a little kid, it starts off at church. It branches off to, because I had some OG uncles to mix at the, Faikava. And they used to bring me around as a kid, and they would introduce me to the Toa. And, hey, Kokunet, this my nephew. I'm like, all right, nigga, I am 14 years old. But hearing them sing, it just inspires me, you know. From when I was a kid, I would tag along with my uncle, and yeah, so I was singing since I was super young. But the title of my album was Ray Leger, Reporting for Duty. So that was just to pay homage to, to the service and to the military. But I would have to say that music has always been it was always a part of me. I was singing since I was young, you know.
Yeah.
Never really took off until I was in the service and I started hanging out with these Hawaiian guys. I will tell you, man, these Hawaiian guys in the service, they love to sing songs of their home that reminded them of home.
Mm.
So I started singing stuff like, Honey Baby and Kapena songs, and yeah, that's kind of where everything started for
Man,
me.
you're pretty talented. When it comes to music, I remember sitting sitting down in a circle and you would sing songs from different countries and different islands and different one time you sang a song in Fijian, then the next time you sang a song in Samoan, and you know so do you speak other languages?
I do. I actually speak Tongan and Samoan and some Fijian, and again, that just goes back to my upbringing. My dad was Tongan and Samoan, because my dad knew that we spoke Tongan outside, or we spoke Samoan outside of the house. He made sure that we Tongan inside of our house. So everything was very cultural related in our house. And then my mom's mom was she was a Fijian lady, and but she spoke very good Samoan until I started asking her a lot about her side, and she would teach me Fijian. And so everywhere I went, I would speak Fijian to all the Fijians, and they'd be like, "Huh? Whoa," you know. So, but it's I think it's super important for anyone who has that background, who can speak many languages, to share that. I don't think it's something that we should hold back, but it's important for the younger generation to learn your own native language, whether it be Samoan, Tongan, Maori, or Hawaiian, or Tokelao. It's super important for you to learn it. That gives you a foundation of who you are, and they say that if you know who you are, you know where you're going, right?
That's what I'm about. I love it. So then does that foundation come from the Love Messenger?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That concept came from the love of, exactly what I just talked about. Knowing. my Fijian side, my Tongan side, my Samoan side. That just gave me a distinct love for, our people.
Hey, so for you listeners out there that are just tuning in, we have the infamous reggae artist, entrepreneur, Gaba connoisseur, the Love Messenger, Ray Leger on our episode right now.
Bless up.
We're
Bless up. Right on. Thank you for having me again. Appreciate it. Tech, is that you, Tech?
What's up, Ray?
Damn, this is my brother right here, man. I'm over here trying to think who's this guy with the dreadlocks, dude? Hey, so for your listeners, for some of you guys who don't know,
Hey, only for the archives, man.
hey, Techie is my brother. Techie is my bro, man. We have been through hell and back, in this cover game. I love this man so much. It's my little brother right here, man.
What's up, Ray?
Man, I didn't
Love you
know
too,
that.
man.
Yeah, it's good to see you on here, brother.
Yeah, it's good to see you too, man. How's Vegas?
Oh, Vegas is, oh, greetings from the Silver State, by the way. The temperature is partly cloudy, but uh, it's a lovely Sunday evening. Hey, Techie,
Yeah,
guess who's over here?
yeah, I seen on when you showed him
Did you?
Jonah. That's why I asked earlier. Who's that guy?
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy. Where are you staying at now, Tech?
I'm still here in Salt Lake.
Oh man, you're a hard guy to get a hold of, man.
My number never changes.
Except for when the girls get your number, dude. My man, Tech, man. Is that Namor up there?
Yeah,
What's up, bro?
Dude, Stefan Notis.
What's up, bro?
Oh my gosh, man.
are you heading down
What,
memory lane?
what kind of team what kind of team is this? I thought I'm freaking mixing with you guys. Oh my gosh, this is the 18 mix crew right here.
What's up? What's up?
Hey, there he is,
There you
guys.
are.
He's back.
We
He's
got
back.
you.
He's back.
What's up? What's up? Where did we leave off?
I was just talking to Dickie. I didn't know that you had Dickie and freaking more. These are my man. These are my boys right here.
Notice.
I,
Use my
I
stage
feel
name,
like
please.
all we're missing. All we're missing right now is some kava right now, dude.
Yep.
Yeah,
Isn't that funny though? Isn't that funny how kava brings all of us together?
no question.
Isn't that funny how kava brings a whole bunch of misfits together? Oh man.
Heck yeah. We bring all our stories together and now look where we're at.
Oh.
I just I want to share that story. Oh yeah, that's where I was
That's
at.
where, yeah, yep.
So I went to go visit my brother and my cousin up in Rexburg, Idaho. And we're sitting there at the apartment and we're just getting ready to mix. And my cousin Big Ossie, shout out to Big Oss. He
Shout out
says
to
that
Big Ass.
he said he was walking through campus and he saw a guy, the recruiter over there. So he invited him to come and partake. And so we hopped in the car, we drove around, came to swoop him up. Come to find out, it was the infamous Ray Leger.
Mm.
That's when we first. That's when we first made eye contact. And it goes uphill from there, man. If you guys don't know, man, if you never met Ray, if you've never made contact with him, he's one of the most kindest, funniest,
Absolutely.
the most loving guys that you could meet in any
Yeah,
circle. It doesn't have to be in the Kava circle, but anywhere. He makes you feel worthy. He makes you feel like you're part of the family already, and that's one of the things that draws
uh,
people to you. And you can ask anybody about you, man.
I appreciate it, man.
It's just who you are, man. And so we appreciate the love that you share with everybody you come in touch with.
Absolutely. That's
Thank you,
one hundred
thank
percent
you,
true right there.
man. One story about the. Let me, if I can interject. That guy, actually, that we're talking about. A few years earlier, I seen that guy at the MTC. Me and him were at the at the Mission Training Center together. I seen him and I was like, "Hey, dude, what are you doing, dude?" And everything just the rest is history, man. Oh my goodness.
That was that was the establishment of Rex Roots, huh?
Yes, exactly. Yep.
I love it.
Yep.
Now what's I'm gonna go back to your music, man. I've seen you live a couple times on stage in Utah at
Mm,
the IRG, the Island
mm-hmm.
Reggae Festival. Man, you bring a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
When you're on stage, you just turn into a different person when you start skanking and when you start singing that music, man. So, what are in
Mm-hmm.
the business? And I don't know if the business is dirty, if the business is clean. What are some of the challenges that you have encountered um, being a reggae artist?
Well, for me, I can't talk about any other artist, but for me, from what I seen, and I've been to a couple of shows, and I just seen artists just stand and sing. To me, I felt like I, with the message that I had to captivate. I had to captivate my audience. You can even tell Techie was there when my music, my solo career started. Um, I'm a, most people know me. I'm a quiet guy. Sometimes I'll say something here and there but I'm never known to get up and, just full on make a fool of myself. But I, uh, I felt like that's something that I needed to do, was to captivate my audience. And so every time I get up on the stage, I take my what would you call it, my inspiration from other reggae artists, guys like Bunny Wailer, who if you see him live is an awesome skanker, man. And then I also get from guys like Dennis Brown. They talk to the crowd and how they how he gets the crowd going. And I just take little bits of this and that here and there, and I just incorporate it into my own style. So
Yeah, I remember when you first started your solo career, like, we would mix and we would sit there and watch like live shows on YouTube, like Lucky Dubé, Bunny Wailer, like you said,
mm,
and try to take notes from what he did, and you try to implement it
mm,
into your your style.
yeah,
I remember we were up in Ogden. We That's all we did was just watch
exactly.
videos.
I remember something that Lucky Dubé taught me. He said that people pay, to come see you. So you got to give them the best show that you know that you can ever muster.
Yeah,
And so that's what I try to bring every time I perform. I try to outdo my last performance, or hence my cartwheel. Some of you guys don't know. I always get teased by the cartwheel, and everybody's like, "Are you going to do the cartwheel again?" But the cartwheel is just a small little fraction of what I was trying to accomplish. But when I do the cartwheel, all I hear is "woo!" So I don't know if they're clowning on me, but I just love to make somebody else feel happy.
Give the
Yeah,
people what they want.
Give the
Yeah.
people what they want.
you were doing cartwheels with those long, tall boots, military boots, and
Yeah.
your army suit on, your military suit on, and you had a long reggae thing over your neck.
Mm,
Man, it was fun, man. You rocked the house at IRG when I was there because it started to get hot and it started to get it's out in the Bay Area, so it was
yeah.
during the summer. It started to get really hot and people were getting overly drunk. And once they got drunk, they got tired because of the heat. But when you came on,
Hmm.
man, you had the whole crowd rocking. About a couple thousand people that were there listening to you.
Yeah. It was such a blessing. I'm trying to master the backflip into a split.
That would be
Uh,
remarkable.
I haven't, mastered it yet. I had a broken neck. I had a
Give
visit
the
to the
people what they
ER.
want.
Uh, let me lose a couple of pounds and then it'll happen, guys. It'll happen.
So are you getting back into music right now?
If I can be honest with you, I'm slowly um, doing some musical projects on the side. I have a full time job, and I love my job, and it pays for our bills. And but sometimes, for me right now, I'm just trying to find the balance and trying to juggle time from work and music. But my goal is to put out another album. Um, if not by the end of this year, early next year. So that's the goal. But I'm slowly working at it.
Well, that's good.
Very nice.
And we can't wait, man. And so you heard it here first on the Encouragers podcast. Ray
Wow.
Leger put together an album. Hopefully it drops by the end of the year. We'd love to be a part of that. I'm here in Utah, so I know you just threw a concert. You just had a concert here. Who
Yes, I did.
who was part of that concert?
Um, so it's basically all my bandmates, all the guys that I used to play with when I was touring. I had Natural Roots, I had Diverse. Um, and that's pretty much it. Just the same group of guys that started a decade ago. When Loves Messenjah started, but it was awesome. I had a job out in Vegas, and so I had all the weekends off. So I just thought that what, this could work.
So you got about 6 months now. Well, at least 6 months till the end of the year before anything your album drops.
Yeah, I think I'm
Are you
gonna
working
drop.
on Are you working on any singles right now?
Yes, I'm gonna drop a couple of singles. Um, I'm gonna drop it on just I don't know if I'm gonna do it on Apple, but I might do it on Facebook. I might do it on just funnel everything to me.
Yeah.
Nice.
And any time frame about when that's gonna happen?
Um, Maybe in about 6 months. let's let's give ourselves a 6 month window before I drop the. Yeah, but I'm working with one of the best in the business, man. He's a Tongan guy from the Bay Area, and he's been with me since in a long time. So his name, you guys, and he's well known. He was a part of the what was the name of the band? Missionaries band.
Mm.
He was also a part of. For those of you, shout out to all the missionary.
Oh, dang.
He was also a Small X, one of the founding members for Small X. But you know him. Yeah, his name is Goof.
You talk. Oh,
Shout out,
man.
shout out to my man Goof, my older brother Goof.
Major, major.
Yeah, he's one of those
Yo,
guys that's changing the game for us Polynesians, us Tongans and Samoans out here with reggae music.
yeah, he's got some mad talent, man.
Yeah,
Every beat I hear, like you could
yeah,
tell it. You could tell it
you can
when
tell.
his beats because they're so different from
Yeah,
anybody else's beats. And when you hear a goof sapping sound, but man, it's just different,
yeah.
and you can hear it, and you
Some,
can feel it
yeah.
too.
Sometimes, exactly. Sometimes when you close your eyes, you can feel like this guy's a Jamaican or something, you know.
Yeah, but I know he's
But
done a couple tracks for other artists as well. But that's good. He's working with you, or you guys are working together, collaborating to get your album out. Because
yeah,
he's got some mad talent.
Absolutely. That guy's for the people in the music game. You know who that guy is.
yeah. Who's that guy?
You guys have that.
Jump. He said, "Hi, Leaky."
is that is that a Cava Vegas bar?
This is you guys are witnessing Kalapu Kava Fais. Fai Kavasai. That's the name of our Kalapu over here.
Okay. Is that a branch of Horny Toads? Is that the branch of? Is that a branch off of Horny Toads?
It it's like a horny toe slash OKB.
It's definitely a branch of OKB. Yeah,
Eh,
because there's the secretary of OKB. Yep.
I
All
thought he was.
right.
So just to explain to our listeners what we're looking at right now, because we're all on a FaceTime call right now, and Ray has a bunch of lights circulating around him like a UFO.
Mm.
Good times,
Some
good times.
disco lights.
Yeah, man, that's incredible. So when you were talking a little bit about your stage presence, and I was kind of reminiscent of like how Beyonce, how she gets into
Excuse me.
character. You know what I mean? How she goes out. She's Sasha Fierce when she's on the stage. So it's kind of
Mm.
like I've seen your shows live too, man. It's different than other shows because you're animated and you're actually interacting with the crowd, and you did that way back when 2000 shoot 10 9. You had your own flavor and style when you came up. So that'll be nice to see that come out again.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely haven't changed much with my style, but I'm is it called what do you call that originalist? I'll I'll keep the root style until I die.
That's what's up.
And there was a couple of artists that have asked me, "Hey, do you want to come on here and throw a ragamuffin on my song?" I would have to turn them down, you know. I'm
Okay.
sorry, sir, but just because I just didn't want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Change the style up.
Yeah, I wanted to keep it original.
Hey Ray, when I was living in
Yes, sir.
Sacramento, I got invited to a birthday party, and I didn't know who they were, but I knew the last name was Ledger. In my head, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
Ledger I know is Ray Ledger.
Mhm.
So I went to a birthday party. I don't know if you remember this. It was in a backyard. They have a bunch of food there. Next thing you know, you had a full on band in the back for everybody.
Yeah.
How often do you do that for family? Because I know you were doing it for free, and you had that band from the Bay Area. Who was that band that you were with, that you collaborated with?
That was the Servants. The Servants band. Shout out to them. You know, you guys can catch their music on iTunes. But them brothers are my brothers, man. Those guys are my good brothers. And yeah, they agreed to come down to do this party for a couple of beers.
Man, that was
And we
great, man. We were front stage right there. There was nobody else but your family. There was only about 30, 40 people there. And how often do you do that for your family? Do you do that often?
just I do that whenever they call, you know. Whenever they call, I feel like I'm obligated to do that for them.
Oh,
And so Techie,
Yeah.
whenever the wedding is, I got you, dog. I'm
All
gonna
right.
put on
yo,
I'm gonna put on my karaoke singing tuxedo, and I'm gonna come and show up at your wedding.
Well, you let me know when you get that backflip into a split down. Once you get that down, then it's on, man.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. So, you're looking to drop album within the end of the year. Music, you're still working on your music. That's good. Anything you'd like to share with our listeners?
Um,
Like
how about
anything to look forward to from you?
oh yeah, look out for my rap album that's coming. I got a tongue and rap album coming before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, guys. But
I had a question. You've performed, all over, man. Who were some of the favorite artists that you collaborated with or sang with on stage?
wow, the first reggae song I heard when I was a kid was Buffalo Soldier. So definitely tribute to the king. Bob Marley is up there, number one. Um, Gregory Isaac, Dennis Brown. Um, Lately, I've been into bands, more of the bands than the artists. Like back in the days, there was the band that topped the charts back in the days was Roots Radix, and I've been listening to a lot of their stuff and bands like Wailing Souls and just the dynamics of how they put their music together was just astounding, you know. So yeah, I rarely listen to the new rap or the new reggae that's out today. Big up to let's see, Morgan Heritage. I That's one of the beauties of doing this job or being in the music industry is that you get to open up for so many um, successful reggae artists. Like one of my most amazing accomplishments was to open up for Maxi Priest, and he tore it up, man. And I had guys like Maxi Priest. There's Tanya Stevens. Shoot, Morgan Heritage. The list goes on, you know.
wow,
It's really yeah.
powerful.
Yeah.
Well, we
Oh,
can't wait to come back out again, man.
man, I'll be right here, and I'll be honored, honored again. Hopefully, I master my backflip into the splits that time.
Hurry up, Tech.
What's that?
Hurry up.
I want to see the cartwheel into the backflip and just.
That's easy, dude.
No, but I feel you on the on watching the bands because I'm a big fan of Lucky Dubé,
Mm.
but his older band, the Slaves,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
the newer band is cool, but I'm more into the older band, the Slaves.
Yeah, yep,
That band when they were playing, man, they had some good music right there. Just the way they
yep.
played, they put the music together, like you said.
You're
Slaves.
right.
Well, looks like you're starting to get a little busy, Ray. Thanks for joining us today.
I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you to your listeners for bearing with us, for bearing with this boring guy.
Oh, you're not boring. But we'd love to have you back on once you get your single and your album ready to get dropped. We'd love to have you back on
Oh, you
to
know it.
get
You know it.
tell us all about it, where to find it, and all that. So,
Yeah.
are you still doing social media?
I mean, I've got a Facebook page and a Twitter page. So pretty much I'm on Instagram now.
Yeah,
I'm at cover. Is it cover time?
and that's
That's Instagram. Yeah, Instagram.
that's so
Instagram.
so our listeners can find you on at Cover Time on Instagram.
Yes.
Is that
T
KAVATIME?
TYME.
TYME? And yeah,
And then there's still Ray Leger on Facebook.
It's great.
cool.
Appreciate you, brothers. But yeah, thank you. You're tuned into the Encouragers podcast. It's your boy Ray Leger, Red Rover. All right.